Evangelies. I'm sure this is a stack lineup just and we're going to find out whether or not this anti-control lineup or this just because I think that deck is going to get crushed, or sorry, would crush a lot of what Tyler has because it's surprisingly good against aggro. And then Tyler's Odd Rogue being banned, and it's interesting because I thought the Hunter was something that was originally something to be feared, but that was because I mistakenly before the event started, or sorry, before the series started, thought that Tyler brought mid-range Hunter, and apparently mid-range Hunter is much better against Aojiru's lineup than Secret Hunter. Tyler's Secret Hunter might get swept if it's cornered and specifically targeted, TJ.
Yeah, reason being is because the Secrets really just don't do anything against Aojiru's decks because he's not trying to build a board and fight for it. He's just trying to survive, and by not having as good of a curve and by having Secrets instead of the more consistent beast for pushing damage, then of course it's much worse against Aojiru's lineup. So first matchup, Mecha'thun Warlock, which honestly, I love Mecha'thun Warlock. I think it is a very good deck. It's got a lot of defensive tools. It's even got some more defensive tools like the Cheaty Ankle Biter, which is surprisingly has a lot of uses. One, it just allows you to have an extra ping effect that also heals you for a little bit in matchups. It also activates the lifesteal on Corpse Taker, and also it's a weird, cheap way to buff up the Spellstone, which is a very weird but cool interaction because you can target your own face and get that extra healing later on, and the lifesteal negates that one damage that you dealt to yourself anyway.
Yeah, you can look at Aojiru's path to get to this final doorstep. He's had to go through Jinsu, Glory, Kokosasa twice, which he lost one and then was able to win the elimination match. And he did actually play Tyler in round 4, where he won 3-2. So, if history is any indicator, Aojiru's in a good position, but then again, he also reversed his fortune. With round 5, he lost to Kokosasa, and then in the bracket stage, he ended up beating him. And, it could have anything from the bans being different, or perhaps the play was different, or maybe Aojiru learned about some interaction or a rule that he misplayed before. Because that does happen a fair amount of times. Some players, they learn about something of how to play the matchup after they're done playing the tournament.
Yes.
And then they think, oh man, if I get a chance to play them again, I think I'll do something differently. And so that's what things like brackets and Swiss gives you the opportunity to do.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I'm sorry that I kind of glossed over your analysis of Mecha'thun Warlock deck, but I largely agree. I think that this deck is a lot more powerful than people give it credit for. I think they look at Even Warlock, they look at Cube Warlock. I mean, people are still looking at Zoo Warlock more than they look at Mecha'thun Warlock in terms of just like what's like a common Warlock deck to play. I rarely hear suggestions to play Mecha'thun Warlock.
Yeah, but I think it's a pretty solid deck that has a wide range of good matchups. And Dan, I just actually got a note from our production team that there's actually a different ban from Aojiru in the first matchup that they played. He actually banned the Hunter deck away and then changed it up this time around to ban the Odd Rogue.
Let me type this in my handy dandy.
Your handy dandy brain? Just go ahead and type it into your brain.
Type it into my brain.
Crunch the numbers, Dan's brain.
I am definitely not cheating by using a smartphone that has access to all the information ever published by mankind in order to access statistics to sound smart. According to this, the ban should be even Paladin, so he shouldn't be banning the Hunter.
Well, if they play each other the third time, we know what's going to happen.
He banned Shaman.
But it's interesting to think that he won and then changed his ban.
Right. What has changed from the past that would indicate that he doesn't want to play that now? It's so interesting. Yeah. Now, let's go ahead and tunnel back on this game. So Tyler has a very powerful card on the far left called Mojo Master Zihi. That card's going to shut down the Mecha'thun combo for a few more turns. And, Aojiru, how is he going to adapt to that? And I think maybe that even gives credit to maybe why even Paladin is worth banning. Because he's even playing tech cards like Mojo Master Zihi. Wouldn't you not want that to happen?
Yes.
All right, I'm glad we agree.
Let's call it a day.
So, you know, Tyler now had that opportunity to set up that Spike-Rich Steed for the Corpse Taker, but because of that Glacial Shard, that minion's frozen and can't attack. So what's the pivot point? Do we develop with more minions, like a second Corpse Taker, and perhaps extend into those AoE removals? Or do we play, you know, more sturdy minions like the Glass Knight, which could survive that AoE?
Yeah, it's tough because you always have to find the balance. Mechathune Warlock draws a lot of cards, a ton of cards, and they have access to not too much removal, but a lot of annoying stuff that activates their removal more, like Blood Mage Thalnos.
Yep.
Or a lot of 1-health minions to start a Defile chain.
I like this. So the Mechathune Warlock has a lot of life gain, a lot of card draw, and you know, sub-removal tools like Lord Godfrey and Defile, but they don't really have things like Silence. They don't have large target removal like Siphon Soul because it's too heavy. You know, they really want to keep their deck lean and mean. I mean, you can look at how much Aojiru wants to be able to defend himself. He's playing Wax Elemental.
Yes.
To try and survive. And I mean, it has synergy with the Corpse Taker, which is why I love that package in particular.
Yeah, I mean, you're drawing so many cards that it's likely you'll pick up at some point one of the things that activates the Corpse Taker. So it's good to have that redundancy. That's why I like the Cheaty Ankle Biter for activation for Lifesteal. You have Ziliax as well for everything, Taunt, Divine Shield, and Lifesteal. And then, of course, the redundancy of the Wax Elementals for Taunt, Divine Shield. So allows for the extra defenses. But yeah, like you mentioned, not much hard removal except for Spellstones, which Aojiru does have access to. He has a upgraded Spellstone on the left side, but has spotted a Defile opportunity and an opportunity to draw an extra card with Mortal Coil.
Yeah, this is really well done. Utilizing Defile, Mortal Coil, and being able to keep the draw up. So it's the big thing about this deck. I mean, look, Aojiru even nods in approval. He's loving his own play.
Look how good I am.
Dude, he's cast it. I've been in that seat before. I've competed in tournaments. You compete in tournaments. When you pull off a good play and you're like, wow, that was really good, you pat yourself on the back. And Aojiru, him being also a commentator, is playing up for the camera. I'm loving this, man. Yeah. This is awesome.
Let's not talk about the tournaments that I competed in.
Did you go far in a couple of tournaments?
I went far in a couple tournaments.
You played in a Geico PAX event, right?
Yes, but I also competed in another Geico event where I was in Lithuania casting an event in Lithuania. Don't ask. And it was like
wow,
it was like 3 a.m. and I saw a tunnel truck, was playing Temple Mage, had a Frostbolt in hand. So I had to ping it instead.
And you died.
I died. I lost that series.
Well, I think it was the Lithuanian time zone.
It was, yeah.
That messed with your head.
Yeah.
You can't blame yourself. It gets the best of us.
Yeah, and I'm quite a large dude. I'm tall, wide, and deep.
Yes.
You're
very deep, TJ.
Every dimension that you could possibly imagine, I'm above average in. And
yes. I know this because I attempted to try and carry TJ. Yes. He physically jumped onto my back, and I tried to carry him off stage.
Well, how you felt in that moment was how the bed in Lithuania felt. Because of how small it was.
It's how the earth feels every day. You get off
when I walk on it, I get out of bed and the earth just groans.
Yeah. People don't know, but the animation entrance was used by TJ's model for King Crush.
Yeah.
When King Crush stomps onto the board.
Yeah. They just put a microphone next to my desk chair.
Yeah, they wired him up like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. They just like put him in a morph suit. They're like, hey, can you just motion out this? Like, what would it like if the earth trembled every time he took a step? Anyways, I love that TJ's making fun of himself, but we had a lot of Hearthstone, and right now this is actually a very crucial turning point in the game, where Aojiru is getting ready for Tyler's best turns. Even decks, yes, they have a lot of great curves, and they have the ability to put a lot of power onto the board early on from turn 4 onwards. But in my opinion, the real meat of any even deck is turn 8. That's when they hit the Lich King. That's when they hit their big, powerful double 4 drops. In this case, Tyler still has one of his best 4-mana minions in the Corpse Taker. And Aojiru needs to remove that. But he has a really cool play with this Galvanizer and the Ziliax to gain more life. And even had opportunities to squeeze in more efficient plays by by also like trying to put in the Corpse Taker in the future turns as well. But the Corpse Taker, I believe, does it even have Divine Shield? Did he play both Wax Elementals? We probably should be paying attention.
I don't know if he did. But another point that I was going to make is I don't know if magnetizing that Ziliax is correct.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
Because he goes up to 30. He was at 26. He goes up to 30, but he would have gone up to 29 anyway. And he isn't going to gain lifesteal from this one on the second effect.
That's true.
Or
He's already at
likely
30.
gain it on the other one. And also having the extra attack could actually be really valuable.
Put your faith in the light.
Even just for things like this, or to maybe have another minion to chew through a Divine Shield or inactivate Lord Godfrey. I don't know. It's a very small thing, but in situations like this, I think small things are what make a big difference. But
I think you're right, because what ends up happening is, by having an extra minion, things like Lord Godfrey or Defile get a little bit better, or things that helps you get through Divine Shields. And you can see how Tyler was very meticulous to avoid hero powering a couple turns ago, because that gives an extra Mortal Coil target. That gives an extra way to trigger Defile or Lord Godfrey.
Yeah.
So these are some really good moves made by Tyler to prevent that. But Aojiru, the big question is, can he find a way to balance drawing all of his cards, but also to stay alive when Mojo Master Zihi gets played? Because Tyler is going to very clearly have the signal to play Mojo Master Zihi when Aojiru is on the draw for his 30th card. And when that happens, Tyler has 3 turns to win. Otherwise, Aojiru wins regardless of what he does.
yeah.
Or sorry, 4 turns. I like this play, Prince Taldaram on Tyrion.
It's
very cute.
Cool. It's cute, but the Ashbringer, not incredibly valuable. I think it's more just a taunt Divine Shield is valuable, because swinging into minions, not the greatest thing in the world, and you're not going to kill them. That's one thing that Mecha'thun Warlock doesn't do very well, is kill their opponent with things that aren't Mecha'thun. But it really is just the best target. You could maybe go for, try and wait for the Lich King, but that's wishful thinking, because you don't know if it's in the hand.
Yeah.
He played Tyrion on turn 8.
I kind of wonder if there's a secret too that can get discovered off of Hydrologist that would really help Tyler in this position. I like the idea that Tyler had originally, which is to silence Tyrion, but the problem with silencing Tyrion is that it also goes up to a 6/6. When you silence a minion that's been adjusted, it'll go to its original value. So Tyrion's not natively a 3/3, it's actually a 6/6. And so I think Tyler recognizes that instead of wasting the Spellbreaker, perhaps just utilize the Spellbreaker to silence the card draw, slow down the confidence for a turn.
Yeah.
But this is a field day, to say the least, for Lord Godfrey.
And it does have to worry about the Ashbringer, but Wax Elemental, after seeing the only copy of Spellbreaker in Tyler's deck, it's going to do wonders.
Yeah. And the thing, too, is that Mojo Master Zihi is fantastic to give you the turns, but, outside of this Lich King and kind of the Glass Knight, Tyler doesn't really have much else to help keep the gas going. And that is why I think that Hidden Wisdom pick was a really important thing for Tyler, because I think he's going to actually lack real punch unless he's able to get maximum damage in the next couple turns, and this Lich King gets him a really good card.
Yeah, that's true. I think, though, Mojo Master Zihi just giving 3 turns, that's likely in fatigue, after Aojiru has played most of his removal, even if he just plays a minion, right? Something with a reasonable amount of size, he's going to be in a good position to post that, because Aojiru, once he plays all those cards, the last 7 cards, there's not much defense that he has left. He's used a Spellstone. He has 1 Spellstone left. But taking into fatigue, taking Ashbringer swings.
Interesting. Avenging Wrath. Well, Tyler does have that Lich King set up for quite some time now, and now has an opportunity to utilize it. Would you start swinging with this Ashbringer onto the Wax Elemental if you play the Lich King?
I would swing at least once. Opens you up for Avenging Wrath to be more likely to clear. swinging in next turn to push 8 with the Lich King. There's a lot of things.
You don't have Valinir in hand. There's no True Silver Champion. I think I'm okay holding on to this.
Okay.
The only thing is if you get Frostmourne. If you get Frostmourne, then you're like, I kind of wish I really started swinging this. Double cheeky ankle biter. That means Corpse Taker no longer gets lifesteal. I mean, in Aojiru's mind, he's saying, I need to rush through this as fast as I can before he gets Mojo Master Zihi.
I don't think there's any buff on that Corpse Taker anymore.
Just a 4-mana 3/3.
Just a 4-mana 3/3. No Tom minions, no lifesteal minions. Yeah. Everything's been played. Both Wax Elementals, Zilliax.
Bloodbloom has been obtained. In fact, Aojiru can ditch all of the remaining cards with the Solarium. And by doing that, it kind of pushes up the timetable, which is really powerful here. Like, it basically forces Tyler to use Mojo Master Zihi guaranteed next turn, and then he has 4 turns from there to win.
Yeah. And also another thing that we've said multiple times throughout the broadcast over the past couple days and last week is you can't play Bloodbloom Cataclysm at 4 health or below. The game just won't let you.
Exactly.
So he's got a little bit less time to work with.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, like, I don't feel like Tyler has a real offensive. He has Mojo Master Zihi, Death and Decay. Dude, Aojiru is praying for no Mojo Master Zihi, and he's about to get some bad news. Ooh, you saw the reaction. It's like, oh, please don't have it. He had it.
He had it.
He had it. And
Fatigue is ticking, Avenging Wrath in hand, no defense left for Aojiru.
Well, he has these cheeky ankle biters.
Yes, but Avenging Wrath is just going to be able to push through these and push a ton of damage. Ashbringer swinging. He's got a Corpse Taker with 0 buffs left. It's just a 3/3.
I mean, the fact that he also has real follow-up to this Avenging Wrath is really devastating. He's got the Glass Knight. I'm stupid. He's on 6 mana as well, so he could just Consecration Arch Protector.
Yep.
He does not have 10 mana crystals.
Yeah. That's a...
Sorry,
correct.
My brain is also currently in Lithuania.
I've been there, Dan. My brain was physically in Lithuania.
I thought I was in Pacific time, but I'm actually in LST.
Lithuania Standard Time? I don't think that's a time zone, but it could be. I don't know.
Wow. Aojiru with the Cataclysm has no chance to do this anymore, and that is it. And this is combo disruption at its best. This is why you play that card. Tyler takes game number 1 in this best of 5.
Yep.
So many low health minions to try and capitalize on tokens for things like the Flame Tongue Totem you see in the hand, and also Seek Giant. That it's not really that difficult for Aojiru to defuse the situation, no matter what it is.
Yeah. Even Shaman, whenever I watch the deck, I just always feel like it's slightly behind. It just doesn't, I don't feel like it does enough unfair things to be a good deck in the metagame, but then it still just takes wins sometimes. It's a very confusing deck to me.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in the same camp. I feel like even Shaman shouldn't be winning a lot of the games, and then it just somehow crosses the finish line.
But barely.
If you are a, like, what's the term? If you're a minimalist where you like to win just barely, like exact lethal or just the right amount of damage or just the right amount of health to survive, even Shaman's kind of like one of those decks where you really appreciate it because it's about squeezing out every single piece of value and damage and tempo that you can.
Yes.
And it is a fairly straightforward deck, but I also feel like a lot of people play it wrong despite that. And my eyes were really open to that earlier last year when Even Shaman was first coming into prominence. And I just kept watching players like Amnesiac make a lot of different decisions than other people. And he kept bringing it to tournaments despite a lot of people disagreeing with it. And it had success. I mean, that's what got him to DreamHack win.
Yeah, that's true. But Tyler's been having a ton of success with it so far in the past couple of days.
It's been winning so much on stream.
Yeah, it seems like we've watched like 3 of Tyler's matches, or at least portions of them. And every time we watch it, Even Shaman just takes a win on its first try.
I mean, if he drops this Corpse Taker, what is Aojiru going to do? He's going to have to Oh, he's gonna have to cheekily ankle biter and defile it.
Yeah.
So does that?
Which is pretty good, actually.
I mean, but Tyler can get the same thing done, but he can play Serenite Chain Gang and force the same situation anyways, then play the Corpse Taker, and then stack his advantage.
Yeah, that's also true.
In which case, does Tyler even acknowledge this 2-1? Maybe he just plays Serenite Chain Gang and goes face with the attack. Get that 1 extra damage in.
Yeah, he's trying to think through all the options of how this is going to pan out. Defile's always on his mind.
Yeah.
When he's making these turns, and since Mechathune Warlock draws so many cards, you have to expect it.
I get the trade just in case. He doesn't have a convenient way to access the file, but
Well,
I do want that 1 damage to the face.
he summons a 1/1 anyway.
Exactly. I do want the
Yeah,
the 1 attack damage to the face.
yeah. So do I.
Yeah. Plus, you give your opponent the draw. So the thing about trading into a minion that has Death Rattle draw card is that you give them the information first. You want them to commit to the attack before the draw, because then you don't know if they wanted to change the outcome of it, right? It's like an order sequence. Maybe they want to keep the minion alive. Like if it's Priest, for example, and they're playing like a Dead Ringer, maybe they want to buff it first or other things like that. So you have to keep in account giving your opponent cards often gives them more information to make the right play.
Yeah, and in this case, it would have traded into a Serenite Chain Gang, which would have, any way you slice it, Defile's already active. So
Right.
I think that 1 damage most likely is just going to be completely irrelevant.
We'll see. I mean, if Tyler loses this game and he needed 1 more damage, I think that's going to be extra painful.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't feel like this game is going to be decided by 1 health. I think it tends to be a blowout one way or the other. Shaman absolutely hammers the Warlock, or the Warlock crushes the Shaman decisively, which right now, based off the way the hands are panning out, looks like Aojiru is very comfortable.
Yeah, Corpse Taker's threatening, but got some ways to stunt that damage.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Defile Mortal right now.
Defile Mortal. Defile is a big tool to use, but he's drawn so many cards. He's got Godfrey in the deck. Still has Spellstones tucked away in there to deal with the big stuff.
Yeah, I don't mind this, and I think he can even squeeze in a life tap, unless he's at 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He is at 9 cards. He can play Kobold Librarian and Wax Elemental. Or he can just play Cheeky Ankle Biter. Cheaty.
It's definitely a cheeky ankle biter. I think I actually like the ankle biter a little bit better because it contests. It contests a totem still.
Ooh.
'Cause the thing about the Kobold Librarian Wax Elemental is that you don't know if you want to save that Wax Elemental for later for a more opportune time to absorb a giant hit. And it's the same amount of stats anyways. And Kobold Librarian is better when it's fit as a 1-mana play draw. So I like this a little bit.
This is kind of a cute play here. Aojiru actually cheating ankle biters his own face, which does nothing, but he's trying to get Tyler to believe that he has a Spellstone in hand, that he's trying to buff up. Maybe that will affect his plays, because the 1 damage to Tyler's face really doesn't matter.
Right.
And forcing him to play suboptimally on the following turns would make up for the 1 health that you don't gain.
Ooh, big pickup here from Aojiru. The Glacial Shard to stop the damage. You're absolutely right, TJ. That the 1 health is most likely, again, not going to matter. I think Tyler is often going to win this game by like a landslide in terms of damage, if it comes down to that. Now, that being said, it's been a hot minute since I've seen Knife Juggler, be whipped out and have like a major board swing, and this could be a really big deal here. Well, I guess it's going to stay a hot minute.
There was a way that he could have sequenced this to get all this stuff out.
You play Knife Juggler last?
Well, you play it right before the Sea Giant.
Oh, right before the Sea Giant, you're right. So he plays Direwolf Alpha, then he plays Knife Juggler, then he plays Sea Giant. Then Hero Power?
Yes.
No, yeah.
Hero Power would fit in before that. I don't know. I kind of would like to have this Direwolf Alpha to force out something big. Godfrey's just a clear on board.
Where's the 6?
The Corpse Taker's actually the 6. The first one will take away the Divine
you're
Shield.
Right.
The second one will bring the Corpse Seeker to 1 life.
You are correct. Wow, what a big draw. I always just count the Divine Shield as 1 health, but you are absolutely correct. I was thinking Defile, not necessarily Godfrey.
Yeah, it's hard to not have a Godfrey clear on a board unless it's like 3 8/8s.
Right, unless you're playing against Death Rattle Paladin, basically.
Even then, yeah, that's probably not a clear.
But I love that he has a gun. I mean, he's basically Reaper personified into a card.
You never played World of Warcraft, right, Dan?
I mean, I have. I just never played it extensively. Like, more than... I played like 30 hours of it.
Yeah, I can't even remember the dungeon that he's in, but he's the final boss in like a level 20-ish dungeon. So a pretty low-level dungeon. And, yeah, I died to him a lot when I first started playing World of Warcraft. Back when I was a...
I mean, I did play enough to know where the Duskwood area was.
Shadowfang Keep. Production didn't tell that
Our
in my ear.
director had to go onto the mic to tell you and correct you.
He screamed it into my ear. He's like, Shadowfang Keep, you idiot! He didn't say that.
He did.
I wish he had, though. That'd be cool.
Me too.
He's got to put up with a lot of stuff from me.
From us. Let's be real, TJ.
From us.
Yeah. You can. There's a lot of things that TJ and I are good at. Hearthstone commentary is still something that we're working on.
Yeah.
Triumphant Totem coming down here just to get a little semblance of board presence. Tyler does not have many options, and this is an act of desperation. If this gets shut down, this game feels over. Even not necessarily for the Mechathune. Aojiru reasonably could play a tempo Mechathune and just beat Tyler.
There's still one more hex left in the deck.
I'm just saying, in the sense that Tyler is that far behind.
Yeah.
He could just play a fat 10-10.
So many possibilities.
There's so many things that he could do here. He's got relatively simple ways to peel apart this board.
If I'm Aojiru, I kind of want to play this Prince Tal'Daram pretty aggressively as well. Like, make it a Thalnos, or maybe even make it a Primal Totem. Just
I'd make it a Primal Totem. Get those 1/1s out to keep attacking in. But I guess that doesn't play into his win condition. He's still relatively healthy. Got some Spellstone to his deck. Got 3 card draw on board effectively. And I can't play Solarium yet because he still needs the Galvanizers, which are both tucked away in the bottom 7. Along with Spellstone and Ziliax.
Double Direwolf is solid, but not enough. And, you know, Tyler's still very far away from being able to break through.
Yeah, there's not much burst from hand in this deck. He's got Argent Commander, Alakir, Kalamos, and Fire Elemental, and Flames and Totem, but he draws one of those a turn. And he needs multiples over multiple turns in order to piece together enough damage to deal 17, and that's also hoping that Aojiru doesn't draw a lifesteal, which is impossible at this point because he's got barely any cards left and a ton of lifesteal still left in his deck.
He actually has lethal next turn. He can just he can Solarium double Galvanizer. And that's 100% guaranteed victory because Tyler does not have a way to interact with this.
Yep.
And that should be all she wrote here. I think Aojiru just pulls the trigger on the Solarium. I think you also want to play the Ziliax because the limiting factor at this point is life total. So if for some reason Tyler had an ability to pull a ridiculous amount of damage out of nowhere, you want to at least have the life to execute this combo.
Yeah, basically him holding onto a Flaming Totem and having Alakir and you not killing any of these minions.
Yeah.
And even then, I think it'd still be, I guess he'd be able to do enough, but really no other plays, so.
All right, well, Tyler's going to see his next card, but this should be a scoop him up. Oh, Aojiru even with some extra cherry on the top. I like it. And with this last card, Tyler's not going to be able to do anything. In fact, Aojiru goes up to full life, basically.
Yeah, that's brutal. Spend a whole game to deal 5 damage to your opponent effectively, end with 0 cards.
He's going to wait it out. I mean, he's given Aojiru a chance to mess up.
At this stage, I would do that as well. I would also try to coin out an 11-mana Malagos if it meant that I had a 0.001% chance
Too soon.
to break the game. But it's all tied up. It's basically down to a best of 3 now to decide who's going to get that 16th and final spot in the Winter Championship.
Yeah, Mechathune Warlock is through. Even Paladin guys win.
This game, I
think the chat wishes one was a lie.
yeah, they wish that this is the last playoffs is a lie.
Yeah. Everything else, they're like, that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Brennan and TJ are all right.
Yeah. Let's go into game number 3 here. We have Clone Priest versus the Even Shaman. And if I'm Tyler, I am snap keeping that Hex. So crucial to mess up that Resurrect pool. It is, you know, and I think that's kind of the key to Tyler's lineup here. Yes, he's playing a fairly fast lineup in terms of how much pressure he wants to put. Really wants to get in there, twist the knife. But the real thing, and you know, what really actually cements the kill are things like Mojo Master CE and Hex against specifically some of these decks.
Yeah.
And also, look at this Coin Primal Totem. I love it. Put on the pressure. He's got Earthen Might.
Gonna put some pants on that Primal Totem.
Oh yeah.
Put some pants right in his face.
Oh yeah. It's a pair of blue-green chinos. And go to town. 3 damage might not seem like a lot, but it is going to keep stacking.
Aojiru does have double mass hysteria, which is a great card. But even Shaman's boards are usually just weird. They're oddly shaped.
Job's done.
Go on.
And you want not oddly shaped boards for mass hysteria. You want nice even boards, like a bunch of 4/4s that attack each other. You don't want 1/1s that'll attack into each other and sea giants that'll just absorb a bunch of damage and still hit you.
Go on.
Winter is here.
You want like squares and rectangles and triangles. You don't want octagons. You don't want hexagons.
No.
I don't know any more shapes. I'm completely out of shapes. Where's production to feed me some shapes?
Yeah, I think TJ definitely did not pass geometry.
Trapezoids. Dodecahedrons.
Wow, Tyler's 1/1s all killed each other, and that is a lot of damage coming in next turn.
And Tyler has completed a perfect circle.
I mean, he's got another mass hysteria,
He does.
but it also can go terribly as well.
Yeah, and that's a big resource.
Actually, it should land. It should be okay no matter what because he has Holy Smite.
Yeah,
so
you can
pulls
clean
the
it up.
trigger. Yeah, and I think that's a pretty important thing because Tyler has to restart, but he's still. Oh man, actually, he's got Fire Elemental, and then he's got Calamos as well. Oh jeez.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage.
Oh, that Menacing Nimbus is so important because now Tyler has the Elemental chain. He can Elemental this turn, he can play an Elemental next turn, and then Calamos for the Fireball to the face.
Shadow Reaper Anduin could be a difference maker. 5 armor actually messes with even Shaman's breakpoints quite a bit.
TJ,
What?
4 out of the 7 cards of Aojiru's hand literally do nothing. Lesser Diamond Spellstone has 0 minions to return because Eternal Servitude is not even playable.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
literally more than half his hand does actually nothing. Tyler has an opportunity to deal with this 2-3, but what's the best way to go about it? First,
You hit him in the face, you play him at Elemental. It doesn't matter anything else.
do you hex the 2-3?
No, absolutely not.
Well, he could have Cloning Gallery, and then he kills you with Mind Blast. It's actually worth thinking about because
It is, but
because Cloning Gallery would
I don't-
then cost 8 mana.
I
and he's-
don't want to think about it, Dan.
Well,
I want to play an Elemental. I want to hit him in the face.
oh wow, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The Radiant Elemental and the Hex.
Okay.
Yo, Aojiru is shaking his head. He's like, oh no, please don't have the Calamos. And I got bad news for you.
Okay. The Hex is smart. I'll
Hex
think
is
about it
just
for a second.
correct.
It is just correct. You're going to kill him next turn.
thing is, too, if he didn't kill it, there was also another out. Aojiru could have had, he could have had Prophet Veil and Spirit Blast.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's absolutely correct. So killing that was 100% correct. He knows that he was going to kill him next turn, and exact lethal through the Shadow Reaper into it.
Wow.
You're smart, Tyler. You're smart, TJ. You're dumb. Let's go to game 4.
Tyler is one game away from going to his second championship in the year of the Raven, and Aojiru, the hope of a caster turned pro player, is slipping from his fingering ourselves in front of thousands of people on the internet.
Yes, I just looked it up in the dictionary. A rhombus is a shape where one side is longer than another side.
It's very late, and this is our 3rd week of broadcast, and it's our last playoffs, and this is how we're going out, in a blaze of glory of incorrect mathematical facts.
Yeah.
This is a Hunter mirror match. Both players have Secret Hunter, and I like this matchup a lot. I think a lot of people might roll their eyes and think, oh man, Hunter versus Hunter, I've seen so much of it. Hunter's so prevalent on ladder, so prevalent in tournaments. Why watch this? Now, the reason why I like Hunter vs. Hunter is because it's an accelerated version of those like odd rogue versus the odd paladin or even shaman matchups where like any wrong mistake by having like a single 1/1 survive
You're
or
dead.
missing a damage or being able to push that damage,
You're dead.
you lose. So it's a very important, delicate balance of how to utilize your mana. And like in this turn, for example, there's a lot of things Aojiru can do, but which is the best course of action? If you know your opponent has the links, and so therefore things like Cracking Razor Maw or Scavenging Hyena get a lot scarier. Aojiru going for the Diarmo Coin Snake Trap. You like this play?
It's a good middle ground, and it sets up for Scavenging Hyena. If Tyler wants to go for his own big sort of swing turn, like Scavenging Hyena plus the Spring Paw to trade in or something like that, then he has to get through the snakes as well, which gives Aojiru his own Scavenging Hyena play. It's all about those swing turns, Dan. That's why Tyler held on to the Crackling Razor Maul to begin with on turn 2, because he didn't want to just throw it into the Lynxes and the Hyenas, and so he's saving it for his own potential swing to try and push for a lot of damage and build up a board that's too big for Aojiru to deal with. It's kind of a weird matchup because both players are trying to do the same thing, which is build a board big enough to just end the game in a turn or two. But both players don't want to play anything because that makes it easier for their opponent to build up a board, oddly enough, because of Scavenging Hyena and Beast dying into it.
Both players also have board-oriented secrets, and this is a conscious decision that Aojiru made. He's willingly allowing his opponent to build a board. I think now he has to part ways with that Hunter's Mark, right? Oh, he's getting hero power. Ooh. So he's giving up the... Oh no, he has Snake Trap himself up. No, he's not giving it. Okay, this was a miscalculation. I forgot about the secret for Aojiru. I was like, is he just giving up the board? I'd be much more... Oh my goodness. That +3 health is very cumbersome to deal with.
So bizarre.
Oh, and Tyler doesn't know what secret it is on Aojiru's side, so he is not attacking either.
It's very bizarre.
This become a very weird matchup.
And it's hard to even say who's in the lead because it all depends who breaks first.
Well, what's funny is that historically in the old mid-range Hunter matchups, what ended up happening was there was only 2 secrets you really played around, which was Freezing Trap and Explosive Trap, and maybe the odd Snake Trap. But now, because of the presence of Subject 9, there's 5 secrets in every Secret Hunter deck. You have to account for everything. And Tyler now has a much bigger board because of the Snake Trap. And can Flanking Strike that Scavenging Hyena, and Aojiru is out of minions after this turn.
But he's isolating the Crackling Razor Maul, which means he'd have to attack in, activate the Snake Trap,
You're right.
and Flanking Strike in order to deal with it.
Actually, that is true still. The fact that Tyler has refused to attack with a minion means that he knows what it is. But Aojiru sees Subject 9 and more secrets are being pulled. And the secrets being pulled is really important in case Tyler just needs to pick up a more impactful minion too. So if I'm Aojiru, I think your hand's telling you one thing, and that is to be aggressive.
Be aggressive.
Were you in the cheerleading team in high school?
Yeah, I was.
So you were the catcher on your baseball team.
I look great in a skirt, Dan.
And in the off season, you were the football cheerleading team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that explains why the pyramid can stand, because they need a really strong anchor in a rock.
I was the tip of the pyramid, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Fun times, man.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Really fun times, for sure. Tyler's at the 20 health mark. Oh, kill command. You are a sight for sore eyes if you're a Tyler fan right now. That was a big time draw. Aojiru's aggression has been completely thwarted. And the funny thing is, Tyler still has an attack with a minion. He's missed a lot of damage. Had he attacked face with his minions, Aojiru would also be at 20 life.
Yeah, he knows that he has the resource advantage in a big way. But will it cost him? Because now he's going to play from behind every single turn. And at some point, it's going to be too late. At some point, he's going to be low enough to where he won't have time to win the game, and Aojiru is going to just be giddying up with that steady shot.
I think he's okay, though, because
I think he is.
Tyler has the big wombo combo. He's got Tundra Rhino, Scavenging Hyena, and Spring Paw.
Must I slay you again?
Howling Commander comes out of the secret. We're at half ice, TJ.
To my side.
The 50-yard line.
Look, you talk to me about how, you go up to Canada a lot. I'm just trying to...
We're right in the middle of center field. We're at half court.
Dude, this is a big turn coming in. Oh, man. Snake Trap and Venom Strike Trap. Both secrets have been revealed. Tyler has the opportunity to go big with this Tundra Rhino follow-up as well. So he can trade in the he can trade in all of his minions. Tundra Rhino can clean up a 1-1 and he can go face. And Aojiru only has Zul'jin. This is looking like Tyler has turned the corner. Kill command, he's taking it a little bit safer, does not want to overextend, still has Zul'jin. There's no reason for him to do it just yet.
He's almost home free, Dan. I don't think Zul'jin's even going to be able to come out in this match. All he's playing is secrets and a kill command.
The secret actually increases the damage on board because Tyler's Scavenging Hyena would get stronger. Aojiru chooses not to play it. Spellstone comes into the hand as well. What a board from Tyler. This is too much to stop. Aojiru's giggling because he's like, oh man, I guess I better stick to casting.
I feel him in that regard.
That is a big mood.
Yeah, and you can see him. He knows that there's really just not much left. Tyler just has lethal staring on board. 12 damage, 8. He's got 23. Gives a wave goodbye to the camera. He knows that it's over. There's not even a secret that he could bluff. Because Wandering Monster, Freezing Trap, you can just attack him with the Dire Maul. Concedes!
I concede.
And for the second time this year, Tyler will be joining us at a championship. Fresh off of earning his world championship berth as the #1 points leader